Apple may be joining the foldable race soon. So we've got a new report. So here on GSM Arena, it says, according to one of the most reliable Apple analysts, Ming Chi Kuo, I hope I'm saying that right, my apologies, the Cupertino-based tech giant is working on a foldable iPhone of its own and will be ready in 2023. So still a couple of years away. The report even has a couple of specs, right? So with the help of some industry sources, Kuo was able to scoop up some supplier information. For instance, the display will be about 8 inches when folded out diagonally and will have a Quad HD Plus resolution. The supplier will once again be Samsung. Of course, Samsung is the display supplier of the world right now, smartphone display supplier of the world, but will use silver nanowire touch tech developed by TPK due to its compelling advantages over Samsung's Y-Octo approach, right? The shipment target of the said foldable device is believed to be between 15 and 20 million units, right? So Apple traditionally, as we know, they're not the first to kind of jump onto a new trend. They generally wait and see if something actually picks up and wait for the technology to come to a point where they can be like, okay, now we're bringing it along, right? They weren't the first to bring 5G. They let everybody else kind of do that trial and error, and then once they thought it was something viable for their iPhones, they brought it over. A lot of these things that we've seen from Apple, they want the first with wireless charging, with faster charging, etc. So foldables clearly seem to be popular and something that a lot of people want to see. And I would say, realistically speaking, the next big thing in the smartphone space. Samsung is obviously leading, but we've seen lots of promising devices from Huawei, Xiaomi, Motorola, and it would make sense for Apple to join this. But again, the 2023 timeline actually makes sense as well to me, because it's not like Apple are just going to jump into something like this very quickly.
Yeah, it's going to be a foldable iPad, not a phone. Honestly, I don't see it as being in that traditional sense being a phone. I think if you look at the way Apple is positioned now, and we're going to talk about the iPhone 13. But, we've seen people now talk about M1 chips in the iPhone. We said that first. I see that progression where this can be that device because Apple has a very polished tablet piece of software, right? No one else does. And Apple has also very polished smartphone software. And granted, they are different, they are also very similar at the same time. So having it feel more like a more portable iPad than it being a phone, which will help segment it out and even grow and increase, because then that eats into this other market as opposed to just the iPhone. Again, I could be very wrong, but I think this would be Apple's true first hybrid device, because again, it's on the very same ecosystem they can run with in terms of applications and usability in there.
So are you saying that you think it's going to be an iPad Fold which wouldn't also work as a smartphone, or are you saying that the primary focus would be that it's an iPad that can be also a phone?
I think it's an iPad that can be a phone, but I think they will take the iPad approach as being that's the line that it comes from. Because again, the Apple Pencil will be tied into it. We all know how good it is. A lot of people love to use it, especially artists and things like that. So why fold an iPhone when you can fold an iPad? And again, you can run. I mean, an iPad runs LTE. You can have the same set of apps to make phone calls and all that stuff, right? All you need is basically phone calls, really. Every other app works.
So this is an interesting point, because I think an advantage that Apple kind of has is the fact that they have iPad OS, right? So iPad OS is made for tablet, right? And you've got all of these features. So, but what would be interesting is if when you folded the device and say they do have a covered display, obviously we don't know if they're going to have a covered display or not, but say if they do have a covered display, if it's more of an iOS format and then it turns into iPad OS, both in one device, I think that would be quite compelling, because obviously, foldables, they have their own sort of skins, and, they're trying to do multi-screen and all of this stuff, right? But it's still Android, right? It's not a specific tablet-based format for the OS, like iPad OS is. I hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to hear the full podcast episode, then that will be linked down below. And if you want to see more clips like this, then be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss them. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf Speaks, and I'll see you next time.